5:30 right here on your fan, New York City. And it all begins right now with Mr. Charles McCord and the 5:30 newscast. Welcome back, Charles, and good morning, sir.
Good morning, Steve, and thank you. It is 79 degrees now at 5:30. Variably cloudy, very warm, humid again. It is 79 degrees right now at 5:33.
All right, Howard Stern's on the phone. Good morning, Howard.
Yeah, how you doing? It's Howard.
I know that. I just said that.
Hey, man, could you play some more of that antique Imus comedy? A judge hanging or a Moby worm or something? What is this, a museum of broadcasting?
Well?
Great idea. Try and give all these new stations the impression you're hip and happen and then bang into a Hargis bit from 20 years ago. Everybody say, baby.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning on the fan.
Gotta have a tape of you on the phone talking to Lincoln somewhere, don't you?
So, Mr. President, how's your Donkey Kong, baby? Hey, what play are you going to go see tonight? Well, be careful. Thanks, huh?
Imus in the morning on the fan. Sports Radio 66 WFAN. All hour long.
First thing you do is get out. That's the first thing you can do.
That's A.
That's A, and B is stay out.
Now.
Yeah, leave now and
C is die.
go go turn each other in again. There's a drug bust. Well, Lou's not here. He's at the Lollapalooza concert. Won't be in for a month or so.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah. Did it flood down there in Arkansas where you
No.
Charles went on vacation in northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, I did.
What possibly could you do in northwest other than drink beer and
Well, have sex with
have sex with close relatives? Yeah.
Now we know why he wears the high water pants all the time.
Did it flood where you were?
No, that's over in the western, the eastern part of the state, Mississippi. We're in the far southwestern. I don't even want to talk about it.
Mm. Well, we have tips coming up on this morning's program. Tips on how to stay cool. Well, maybe not.
Imus in the morning.
It's 5:42, 18 till 6. I'm in the morning here on here in New York. We go on in Boston today on one of my favorite stations there,
WEEI.
Right. We go on there, and we go on in Providence, another big classic rock station there, one of my favorites. So anytime I'm in Providence, I always listen to
WWRK.
Right, that's the one.
Jeez.
1037.
Dude.
And in Scranton, of course, big sports radio station there, we go on there, and of course, that's W.
INA.
I knew that.
No, you didn't.
I did know that. And of course, down in Tampa,
QYK. For
Right.
God's sake, I've been on there for a month. Come on.
all of those stations we go on. We're on Tampa now, but we go on the other stations at 6 o'clock this morning, so it's a huge deal for them. Likely this afternoon, high near 90 tonight, breezy, turning cooler and less humid. Around 70, it'll be up around 90 in Boston, 91 in Providence, 92 in Scranton, 91, and in Tampa, 93.
Here we go.
Oh, God almighty.
But I'll tell you what, this will be, here's what we're going to do today. We're going to pretend.
Like we're the Weather Channel?
We're going to pretend we actually care about these stations, but then that will subside. I would suspect, I don't know, Wednesday, that will be over, that we will no longer even make mention of them.
A quick 48 hours left in the end.
Is Eileen here yet?
Yeah.
Morning, Eileen.
Good morning, Imus.
Saw your husband yesterday.
Yeah, he told me.
Must have been a big event in his life. My man popping in on Sunday.
Yeah, he just threw him for a loop there.
I had to come over and use my, I'm now computer literate as opposed to.
Computer stupid.
I can do anything now with this Macintosh. I can actually do anything with it.
Wow. Uh-oh.
I can write on my penis with it.
Oh,
Of course, there
The obligatory penis reference here
of
for this
course.
quarter hour. I can write a lot on it, but
That's right.
but I
Use that little tiny font. That...
it's seven.
Right.
7 whatever. 7 point. 7 point. Yeah, whatever. No point going into it, is it?
No.
So were you off as well, Eileen?
Yes, I was.
Mhm.
It was a nice time.
What did you do?
Went down the shore for a couple of days and,
Got her GED.
Shut up, Bertie, already.
So your father wrote a letter to the New York Post defending me, you know. Did you know
Yes,
that?
I found that out, yes.
I read this letter in the letters to the editor or whatever it is in the New York Post. And that's somebody in response to Phil Mushnick's column about the show losing its New York flavor because we're going on all these other cities around the country.
Right.
And your father, Nut, wrote it. That's nice until I saw who it was. And then,
I told him, Dad, can you be
yeah,
John Doe once in a while?
Jesus, lost a little credibility, did it? It lost a lot of credibility.
No.
One of the staff's fathers.
I thought, well, somebody else out there actually gets it, you know. And then I realized it's a whack job, your father.
Well,
Jesus, how many letters do you suppose?
he's been writing them long before I was even on the show. You know, it's just like he has to voice his opinion. It's just something within him.
Oh, man. You know, you know what I'm glad about? One thing is that your dad never worked for the post office. Because he'd be down there
Oh, no.
Wednesday with an AK-47 cleaning people out and things.
Scrambling a few zip codes for crying
He might feel a little bit, you know.
Yeah. You know, I've decided, Bernie, are you going to talk to each of these people at these different stations like that stooge Mike in Tampa?
Yeah, I'll be in touch with him.
Okay. Because we need to find out what they're doing. They're probably doing their own traffic and all this stuff, right? Oh, okay. Yeah. And we can't talk about Steve McDonald today. Is that the deal?
Very nice. We can't talk about that.
Is that the thing?
That's correct.
Oh, okay. So Steve was going to be a guest on this morning's program, but now he's not.
That's correct. And after 6 o'clock, we can't even mention that.
Wow. Of course I can.
No.
Oh, come on. He's the
It's the worst thing to say
I-man.
to you.
Please.
Well, they're not on yet, right? Okay.
Not yet.
So see, Steve, of course, Fat Steve, who we love, fills in for Breen when Breen's not here. He's not negotiating with two stations in Providence.
Ah.
And the station we're on there, Classic Rock
3.
Yeah.
103.7.
Well, I do know they don't say the point. I do know that.
All right. 103.
103.7. But he doesn't. He works at some other station there now, right?
Right.
So there's a big negotiations. And well, let me just say this to the people in Providence at
WWRK.
Right. Let me just say this. Let me just say this to them. You either make a deal with Steve or we'll jerk this program off there in a heartbeat. We don't need this. The general manager of the station in Providence calls Fred and orders 100 Auto Body Express El Paso, Texas coffee mugs.
This is horrible.
So Fred calls me and said, what should I charge him for him? So I made him sell them to him at cost. He's so mad, was so upset he couldn't stand them. Well, they wanted to get them to their stupid clients and stuff, you know.
All right.
Of which they have none now, which is the reason this show's going on there. Their place also down. Steve McDonald is here.
Yeah.
So you stayed in Manhattan this weekend?
I did.
Don't try to stick me with that entire weekend hotel bill, by the way.
I slept on the grates for most of the weekend.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning on the Fan.
We tried to set him up with this woman from the radio station up there at HJJ or whatever it is, didn't you?
Well, I thought things went well. I'll see what.
How did you think
like
they went
this afternoon?
Did she show up this weekend?
Did she show up? No, not.
Well, then they didn't go well, did they?
No, it went horribly.
But
How did they go well?
I wasn't arrested or anything. Usually my barometer for success. Yeah. Stay out of prison. Not a bad weekend.
Imus in the morning on the Fan. Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
Here's something you might find interesting if you...
Why don't we just stick with the news as it is and not make it up?
That's probably not the right thing to do, particularly this morning when you're trying to establish some credibility in these other markets.
By the way, we talked to Mike yet in Tampa?
We haven't discussed anything with him just yet.
Okay, well, what are we talking to? We're on 10.
How hard is that?
It's not the difficult at all.
10.
And we'd also like to welcome...
Idiot.
I don't know whether you want to welcome them or not, because the station sucks so bad. All of these stations suck so bad that the reason we're on them is because they suck so bad.
Why would you welcome them?
So it'll be some time, perhaps, before there are actually people listening other than the sales staff, if they have sales staff.
These stations are like gnats flitting around the Imus aura at the moment.
So in Scranton, Pennsylvania, is there anybody left in that city? No, didn't they close all those coal mines down or something?
Absolutely, sure. I mean, it's the Rust Belt, you know. It's a fading industrial city.
Well, we're on a station that bills itself there the winner.
In Scranton?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sports Radio 90,
95.
Right. And in Providence, we're on a classic rock station, and that's they're at 1037.
Yes.
That would be on the FM dial.
WWRK, I think.
Mm-hmm. And in Boston, of course, on
WEEI.
I knew that.
No,
This
you didn't.
Big sports radio station in Boston. It's enjoyed so much success that they had to take this program out of New York to try to suck it up and get it done. But a couple of my favorite radio people are on that station in Boston, by the way.
Here we go.
What's his name in the afternoon? Rick Adelman or Bob F, something like that.
Dale Arnold in Boston?
No, he comes on, I think, at 10 o'clock. No,
Is he their midday guy?
Yeah, he's not.
Yeah.
There's not much going on there.
Really?
He's kind of there instead of Len Berman.
Oh, I see.
Anyway, back to what's going.
The news.
Yeah.
NEWF. It is 79 degrees in New York, 72 degrees in Providence, Rhode Island at 13 minutes after 6 o'clock.
The cars are from Boston, right?
Absolutely.
No,
not too lame.
I don't think so.
Imus in the morning.
Lance Armstrong, an American, won yesterday's stage. Lance now stands in 12th place.
I don't think that. There are a lot of homosexuals, by the way, in Providence. So
named Lance,
and a lot of homosexuals in Boston too.
Oh,
yes.
please.
From Provincetown, yeah. They're just they got more homosexuals than where I live in Manhattan. Well, not more.
Well, yeah, come on. So we want to appeal to them.
Of course we do. Because there's not anybody who's homophobic on this program except for Charles and Bernard.
That's exactly right.
Beantown, it's Gerbiltown.
And they're riding them damn bikes without a seat on them. I know.
That'll be fine.
On the baseball front, Mets are hoping to gain some momentum heading into the All-Star break.
Hey, you know who's doing well? I hate to be a patronizing fool here. Is the Boston Red Sox. Did you know that?
Yes, I did know that.
Okay, we'll go
get
ahead.
to that in just a couple of
Why
minutes.
don't I let you do the sport?
Thank you.
All right.
But they lost last night, the Mets did, to the Dodgers 2-1 at Shea, finishing the first half with 27 wins and 60 losses. Manager Dallas Green assessed his team's play.
I think I-Man has to get some pluses tonight. It looked like some of the old I-Man that we remember.
Again, Green refuses to talk about his team, instead talks about Imus in the morning, a man he's become obsessed with in recent years.
I hope we're not going to go through this thing where Jeff Ennis now is referring to himself as the I-Man, and I have to slap him around again. This marginal relief pitcher for the Mets.
This loser.
Yeah, this stooge.
I-Man.
The I-Man.
Jeff Ennis is referring to...
Well, what is that fat drunk thinking about?
I thought he was talking about you.
I don't think so, Mike.
Oh, huh?
No. What's the matter with your eye?
Little allergy situation.
Yeah, that's what I used to say, too. I used to on that cocaine, had that big box of Kleenex there, yeah.
Everything's okay, though. Here is Dallas Green about his team's play.
We're still struggling a little bit.
Oh, really? We're 29 and a half games out of first place.
He has his hands on the pulse, huh?
Yeah, he does.
Yankees finished their West Coast trip with a loss, 3-2 in 14 innings to the Angels in Anaheim, but they're still only a game out of first. Meanwhile, the Red Sox won again, down the A's in Oakland 3-2. They've won 15 of their last 19 and are just 3 games out of first, prompting manager Butch Hobson to say,
We're still in it.
Hobson's hoping to get Roger Clemens back soon.
No.
Hold on.
Come on here. Jesus. How old is that cut?
Pretty old.
That's what Joe Morgan. That was the one thing in the World Series then or something?
That's right.
There's mold on it.
That's got to be, there's mold on that cut.
Dust is flying off it.
Clemens, by the way, threw well in a minor league game yesterday as he tries to come back from a groin injury. And finally...
God. Stop faxing stuff to me.
Started this. Now we got more cities.
By the way, we're having a general managers meeting Monday morning at 7:30, a week from today.
Okay.
I think we go on in Washington a week from today. And station still to be determined. That's another Steve McDonald. We can't talk about it yet, right?
Right.
Okay, we go on to Washington, D.C. on Monday, and I don't know where else, but it doesn't make any difference. I was only interested in being on in Boston and Washington, and of course Scranton and Providence.
Oh, yeah.
And Tampa.
Particularly Scranton.
But at any rate, somebody from the station in Providence has compiled what they call the Imusaurus, an abridged version, a handy reference guide that includes phrases that I use, and when the lexicon of when my rhetoric is reduced to this, it makes me look like just maybe the dumbest person
It absolutely does.
who's just ever talked on a microphone.
Which is about accurate anyway. Sure.
So this is an accurate reflection, then. Now, if you want to call me here in New York, we don't have an 800. We have an 800 number, but
No, it's not for them.
it's not for you.
It's not for you scum.
And by the way, we're not going to get an 800 number either.
No.
If you're in Boston or you're in Tampa or you're in Scranton or Providence or Washington, D.C., and you want to call, you pay for it. I'm not going to pay for it.
Stupid.
That's just absolutely. This is a talk show. I talk.
You listen. There's a basic formula
That's
here.
the way that works.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in what you think about the new trade agreement or the Euro round or something.
He's not here to chat.
Yeah. But our number here in New York is 718-937-6666. And what's this guy's name, Bernard?
Joe from Providence.
Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Rush. Mr. I-Man. How you doing?
Shut up.
Listen, welcome to Providence. And you got your Imusaurus in front of you, I see.
Yeah, I do.
Well, listen, aren't you thrilled about it?
Who did they give these to?
Well, they're giving them to all the ad people, all the advertising community in Rhode Island, all the Jerry Delafamina wannabes who are around here in Rhode Island. And
Are you, take a breath.
God.
Slow down.
God, relax. Are you part of the ad community?
well, yes, I am. Yeah, this is the instant comma version of the ad community in Rhode Island that put this together and does make you look like the dumbest person. So I feel like, don't you like it?
Did you get Did you get your Auto Body Express coffee cup?
No, we're going down there this morning. I wanted to tell you what's going on from our angle here in Providence.
So
I want to welcome you to Providence.
So this is a huge deal for this station in Providence.
Oh, man, you ain't seen nothing because you know Providence.
103.
7.
Yeah.
WRX.
Right, I knew that.
Yeah, I know you did, but let me tell you what's going on
Allman
down
Brothers at 10. Doobies.
Hey, listen, this morning, all right, here's what's going on. It's at the Sheraton Tower in Warwick. There's a big breakfast to welcome the I-Man to Providence and introduce Providence to the I-Man. And I had some ideas for them, and the police in Warwick...
Please get out. I'm begging you. Just get out. All right, here now, the senior senator from the state of Massachusetts, Edward M. Kennedy.
Thank you. As many of you are aware, the Kennedy family has for years been star-crossed in the pursuit of our interests, both public and private.
Right.
My brother John suffered his Bay of Pigs in Cuba and later in the White House itself with the advent of Angie Dickinson, Marilyn Monroe, and Judith Exner. My brother Bobby often found himself locked in struggle with J. Edgar Hoover, and later locked in estrus with Miss Monroe and others too numerous to recount here. I, Edward, endured not only their tribulations, but from time to time, my own. Miss Monroe, of course, passed on before I myself got a shot at her. An unfortunate choice of words. Let me rephrase the thought. She experienced demise before I could experience dem thighs.
Fine.
But despite her loss, and while I'm not proud of it, I have been caught with my trousers about my ankles on occasion, both in the figurative and, sad to say, literal sense. But all of that is history that can neither be changed nor rewritten.
No.
But past difficulties, troubling as they were, must be put aside this morning. For it is a new sense of desolation and despair that overwhelms me today. Indeed, I would rather face Anita Hill again and actually ask her some questions than confront what fate delivers now. Imus in the morning in Boston. This increasingly powerful media figure who has no controls governing him can now lay out in detail before my Bay State constituents the various picadillos that occasionally beset me. While a number of my colleagues assigned to Imus a certain cachet, even appearing to fawn over him, Bill Bradley, my old friend Chris Dodd, Senator D'Amato and Dole among them, I do not fall into that category. I refuse to be carried away by this swelling tide of Imus adulators. Let me put that another way. I will not be found in some I-Man, A-Man chorus, currying favor with a sophomoric comic who thinks it's amusing to play a sound effect of an automobile skidding out of control, followed by a voice gurgling help every time somebody happens to mention the name Ted Kennedy. Oh, how droll. Rest assured that because of such insensitivity, the Federal Communications Commission will be asserting itself in this national expansion of the Imus program. Or my name's not Ted Kennedy. Oh,
Imus in the morning.
Hey now, it's a...
So if you think, that, I don't care what anybody says, the Whoopi Goldberg, Ted Danson thing, come on. Figure that. I mean, somebody rationalize that for me.
Like kissing buckwheat.
Let's not turn this into, but I mean, come on here.
What is
What
he?
do you mean? I mean, and how sick am I of Entertainment Weekly, by the way? If it's politically correct to review something,
Yeah.
the only band they like at Lollapalooza is Arrested Development. Why do you suppose that is?
Because they're people of color?
Get out of here. And the same with Ted Danson and Whoopi Goldberg. I don't care what I mean, come on. And now we have Julia Roberts and Lyle Lovett.
Yes, sir.
Oh, God.
What's wrong with that?
Like Kramer from Seinfeld, this guy looks like.
God. What, all the guys who were alive were taken? God almighty. Well, what is up with that?
I don't know.
Or old Paulina Perestroika marrying Rick Ocasek from the Cards? What? It looks like a bug.
People, it's in the water. People are taking something. I have no idea. Lyle Lovett. What's wrong with him?
Well, I like Lyle Lovett.
He's a handsome man. He's talented.
Good looking.
He was part of the entertainment when I won the Marconi in Boston, by the way.
Yeah?
That was the first one I won, and the other one I won someplace else. I forget what name. San Francisco.
Yeah, one of those places.
Right. And we're going through a three-peat this year.
Certainly.
The Marconi is the award the National Association of Broadcasters give to the
biggest jerk of the broadcast here.
Mm-hmm. No, that's not what it is.
No.
It's for the best radio personality in the country. Who else would that be?
The Jurassic.
Would that be Howard Stern? I don't think so.
No.
Would that be Fat Rush Limbaugh? I don't think
Not
so.
a chance.
Little thing with it's a nifty little statuette with this huge neck thing hanging down. Look like a Jurassic Park neck.
Would be Rick Ovey from WR's
WRX.
Yeah, in Providence, Rhode Island.
1037.
I understand that.
W.
Album side Friday, rock and roll.
We're there.
Cars, Boston.
Colvin Brothers Hour next.
It's 7:15. I am Imus Llewellyn. It's time for sports, and here's Mike Breen.
Imus in the morning. 2020 sports.
Good morning, Mike.
Morning, Imus. Yankees had a chance to go into the All-Star break tied for first. Were you going to say something?
Yes, I was going to say something. What happened?
I knew it.
What happened? Well, you knew what.
You can predict these things, man, by now.
What happened?
I gotta retrain all of you idiots.
To opening with, like some nifty sound of some kind.
I forgot about it.
Yes, you did.
2 weeks of vacation, you do those things, you know.
Did you forget how to drive your car? No.
That's my point, Mike.
Have we made a penis reference this quarter hour?
No.
Did you forget how to play with your penis? No, of course not.
You forget how to hate.
No, of course not.
Well, all right.
You're a penis, okay?
I wonder, do you think that the people at the other radio stations will hate me well, you guys say you hate me.
No way.
I don't really think you do hate me.
Of course not.
Will they hate you as much as your staff does here?
Yeah.
Was a question you were about to
But
pose.
my staff, it pretends they do.
Yes, they will.
It's inevitable.
Why? I won't have any personal contact with them. They won't have to deal with me.
It doesn't make any difference. It may take...
They will have to deal with me, won't they?
Of course they will.
Yeah.
A different level of hate.
Because I'll be getting tapes from these different stations, see how it sounds there, and when I hear something I don't like, then I'll just go nuts, won't I?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so you can expect that.
You can bank on it.
Well, Mike in Tampa already hates me, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
And legitimately so.
Your children hate you.
My children don't hate me. My children love me. 3 of them love me.
Wait, where's that fourth
Well,
How's she
kind of
come
up in
down?
the air.
The chick was late.
Yankees had a chance to go into the All-Star break tied for first, but lost another heartbreaker in 14 innings to the Angels in Anaheim. FAN's Susan Waldman has the details.
Final again, 3-2 Angels in Anaheim. I'm Susan Waldman, Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
Thank you, Susan. Mets, meanwhile, were losing 2-1.
What was that?
That wasn't
What is that all about?
Susan Waldman live from Anaheim.
I understand that,
She
but
covers the Yankees for us here on the Fan.
I know what she does. But I'm just wondering that didn't enlighten us at all about...
Did you find out who won the game? Find out what the score was?
You could have told us that.
That's the bottom line, isn't it?
Well, I suppose it is, yes. But I don't think we need to waste time with Susan, do we?
Well, I think we should establish presence that we were at the game.
Oh, man. All right.
Mets, meanwhile, were losers. 2-1 to the Dodgers at Shea last night.
Maybe, Mike...
Maybe you should just refrain from finishing up this comment.
No, because I think I'm an obligation to here.
Here we go.
Maybe it should then perhaps be humorous. Do you think that would be...
Not even 7 o'clock yet.
Yeah.
There you go. Let's get funny here, stupid.
No, but I'm just wondering if it's not funny and if it's not interesting and it doesn't enlighten us at all, what's the point?
I thought it was a laugh riot.
Well, then you were wrong.
Your staff doesn't age.
Man, well,
Nobody. Shut up and leave me alone. Come on here.
Dwight Gooden took the loss. Mets now 29 games out of first at the break, in last place in the NL East. And manager Dallas Green issued a demanding challenge to his team for the second half.
I'd love to challenge the players, and I'd love to challenge our fans to see if we can't catch the Marlins. I mean, that's a realistic goal. It's something that we could all set our sights through.
Whoa, that's asking a lot. Catch the Marlins. If we can catch the Marlins?
Oh, my God.
That's something to aspire to.
Didn't we?
Seemed a realistic goal.
Screw the Phillies, man. Just catch the Marlins.
Catch the Marlins. Jeez.
That's reachable.
That's unbelievable, isn't it? That's where they've come.
Maybe he meant actually fishing in the ocean.
No, man, that you got. I mean, think about that. How about when they had the infamous, wasn't infamous, the famous pennant drive with the Giants were 14 out in August or something, back in 51 or whatever the hell it was.
Yep.
If you can get 29 games out in the first half, it's not out of the realm of possibility that you could pick them up in the second half. But that's not the goal, is it?
No, it's not.
No.
It's to catch the Marlins.
Didn't one of their slogans used to be "Catch the Fever"?
Yeah.
Well, the age thing popped up, and then that was a little inappropriate. So now it's just "Let's Go Mets." But now it's "Catch the Marlins."
Catch the Marlins.
Wait till Lupica gets sound to this.
How about the Red Sox? Meanwhile, they beat the A's in Oakland again and are just 3 games out of first. Since Roger Clemens was placed on the disabled list, the Red Sox have picked up 10 games in the standings. And Boston officials, realizing it's not just a coincidence, reportedly have released the veteran right-hander.
No, they haven't.
That's according to an FAN source.
No, some listener, Vinny from Queens, calls you.
Called me this morning in the newsroom.
No, that they haven't released Fat Roger Clemens. So
Well, we'll see if we can verify that.
You're not going to be able to, you nitwit.
Of course, now it's the All-Star break. That'll be tomorrow night in Baltimore. FAN will cover it for you. Mike and the Mad Dog, live from the All-Star site later today.
So will you be able to listen to them there and not be able to understand what they're saying?
From a new venue.
Yeah, from someplace that's farther away. Good idea. Great programming.
And that's sports. I'm Mike Breen.
In Scranton, Pennsylvania, we are on the station there they call The Winner.
The Winner.
Sports Radio
95.
Yeah. It's on an FM or AM, Bernie, do we know?
We don't know at this moment.
Call him and ask him.
Right away.
When you take loose penis out of your mouth there before you call him.
You know, that's just stupid. That's stupid and it's not necessary.
No, it is. It's
Apologize for that.
You know, it's the grandfather of shock radio, and with the obligatory penis reference every quarter hour.
You try to stay relevant.
Well, yeah. Lupica's kids like it when I say penis.
So that's basically the reason. Then.
Yeah, little Christopher and Alex, and I forget the other kids, and Zach. Yeah, they like it. They go around the house and say penis, penis, penis because Uncle Don says it. Right. But I'm not their uncle, and I don't want to be referred to as such.
What an attractive characteristic from Uncle Don.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Anyway, it's 12 minutes after 7 o'clock here in New York, and here's more news with Charles McCord.
Speaking of that which you just mentioned, I-Man, an update now on the 26-year-old Virginia man whose wife severed his organ with a kitchen knife.
Oh,
he is said to be recovering from his injury. This unidentified fellow who calls the experience a nightmare.
Yeah.
Borrowing, by the way, from the Imosaurus Unabridged.
Yeah.
He says he expects a full recovery from surgery in which the organ was reattached. The nightclub bouncer and former Marine says he's anxious to return to work and begin rebuilding his life. The man arrived at Prince William Hospital in Virginia June 23rd, missing 2/3 of the penis, which his wife had severed as he lay sleeping.
Pretty much had what you had left there.
That's very nice. The woman who's in the process of divorcing him claims that he had sexually assaulted her. Police later found the
penis,
the missing part at an intersection.
Penis? Can't you say penis?
Well, yeah, I can, but I'm a little uncomfortable with it here on the radio. I'll leave those references to...
well, no, it's not a Howard Stern deal. It's penis is a penis. You have one, I have one.
Well, not everybody, but...
I mean, half the population does not.
Yeah, I understand.
Including this guy. Police later found...
They've sewn it back on, right?
Yeah, they have.
Does it function?
Well, let me get to that. Right. They found it at an intersection where they say his wife, well, she took it with her. After threw
it out the car window.
Threw it out the window in a panic.
Like about a half-smoked Marlboro.
After
chucked it out there.
Oh, God. Don't give me
stupid. The reconstructive plastic surgeon who performed the operation on the victim says the man still has to use a catheter,
right.
You know, to eliminate
pee.
Well, yeah.
To pee.
But it expects a quote.
How old? You're 50 years old. Can't you say these things?
Well, yes, I can.
You have an 18-year-old son.
Yes,
Can't you say?
I would rather say to
make wee-wee.
To make wee-wee.
Fine, all
but
right.
He expects a complete return of all functions, including sexual abilities, will occur within the next 2 years, I guess, with some sort of rehabilitative program or something.
He won't be assaulting any more women.
If, in fact, this is what
Well, why
occurred.
did she cut it off?
Well, I don't know.
There was nothing else to do?
She was honked at him. I mean, they're going through this messy divorce.
But what kind of shape was he in?
What?
Well, was he passed out, or?
I don't know.
I mean, what if Connie just marched in there one someday and said...
Yeah. Well, I would be... I'm a light sleeper, so I would be aware.
There wouldn't be any reason for her to cut your penis off.
None that I can certainly come up.
You're one of the few people I know who's been happily married for 30 years.
For a long time, sure.
Married, obviously being from Missouri, got married when you and...
That's
when
right.
they were 12.
That's right, and we probably are less than distantly related.
Yeah, and already lived in the same house. Had to say mom and dad.
Well, let's get married, see? That's the deal. Imus in the morning.
The reason your son looks a lot like Amy Carter. But that's not necessary.
No, that's not.
No.
It's a terrible thing. Imus.
It's 20 minutes after 7 o'clock, 7:20 in New York, and I am Imus. We're going to talk to Mike in Scranton, Pennsylvania, who is at the station we're on there, which is... I had it right here.
It's Sports Radio 95.
Right.
The winner.
Is it an FM or AM station, Mike?
Mike.
Yeah.
Is it an AM or FM station?
FM.
Are you nervous?
No, not at all.
You sound like you can barely get your breath. Well, don't be nervous. Just hang on a minute, will you? Can you?
Sure.
Okay, bro. What, are you running a board there?
No.
Well,
me and my partner were taking turns doing it.
Oh, yeah. How's it going?
I don't know. It's kind of rough. You guys seem to take your breaks whenever.
Whenever we
damn right.
Were you listening to Mike from Tampa?
We kind of gave up on the clock. Yeah, we kind of like put the clock away already.
The clock, you don't need the clock.
No.
Let me explain something to you. We break 4 times an hour.
Right.
We've done that for 20 years.
Sure.
And whenever you hear the Imus the Morning jingle, then you play your hideous commercials, okay?
Well, I have a question for you, though. At the top of the first break...
You know, first of all, let me just explain. Time out here. Yeah, we're not interested in taking questions from somebody in Scranton copping an attitude with me when I'm trying to explain to you what the hell's going on here so this thing will sound decent there.
You hearing this, Mike?
I'm sorry, Mike, that I laughed at you. I mean, you know, I know you probably heard that I'm a jerk, and guess what?
You're right.
I'm a loser at the winner.
Anyway, what's your question?
The first break after the top of the hour, the jingle, do you play the jingle then? Because the first 2 times today it wasn't played, so we were kind of shaky getting into our break.
Okay. You mean when we're doing what we call the news?
Yeah, after the news, yeah.
Okay. Here's what happens. Right at the top of the hour, when the clock clicks over, and it's all like, let's just say, for sake of example, at 7 o'clock, when it's 7 and all zeros, then we play something.
That's helpful.
We play something.
A Delbert McClinton record.
Yeah, well, we play like Live from New York, or we play a Connie Chung, you know, something like that.
Okay, all right.
Then we do 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 minutes worth of news. Or, you know, or I suck up to some politician or something, you know, or some columnist in some newspaper. And then we play 2 minutes of commercials, but did you want us to play a jingle there? Is that what's confusing?
It says it on that stupid clock that we have, that's all.
It does say that. Ignore that.
Lose the clock.
Okay.
That's the only time we don't play a jingle, and Charles will give a time check. He'll say it's 5 minutes past the hour, whatever.
Okay.
And then we're only gone for 2 minutes.
Oh, that's only a 2-minute break there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a 4-minute break.
I'm talking to Imus.
Who was that?
That's my partner.
Okay.
His mom.
And then, coming up, by the way, in about 8 minutes, Senator Joseph Lieberman will find out what his deal is. Anyway, and then, Mike, throughout the rest of the hour, we break 4 times for 4 minutes.
Like Kelly says.
Well, all right. 4.5 minutes then.
Okay.
Doesn't it figure out to be between 4 and 4.5 minutes?
No, we haven't had a 4.5 minute break yet. Just 4 minutes.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's what it is. It's just 4 minutes. What are they supposed to be?
Yeah, 4:30 it says on that stupid clock. So we're gonna throw that clock out, I guess.
They're not 4:30. They're 4 minutes.
We're gonna burn that clock.
Okay. So how's it going, do you think?
Good, and yeah, we're glad to have you too. I think you're gonna knock Scranton off its feet.
Well, how many stations are there in Scranton? 1? 2 stations? Of course we're going to kick ass in Scranton.
Scrub town.
There aren't any people left there? Uh-huh. Mike?
Yeah, they're here.
Mike, is this difficult talking to me?
Put the cocaine down.
Mike, do you want him to die yet or what?
It's coming up on 24 after 7 o'clock, and I'm someone. Stephanie's here. Stephanie is our intern. Stephanie, I want to apologize for making a veiled reference to you being a lesbian this morning. Breast.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan.
Veiled.
So, but you're not a lesbian.
Not at all.
Lose the keychain.
Take the work boots off.
You know, that's the kind of thing that happens, Stephanie. How old are you?
21.
You're 21 years old. So.
Yes.
So that's why that woman cut that guy's penis off, is because that's a form of sexual abuse which she didn't need and you obviously don't need.
No.
So I wanted to apologize to you. That's all. So put the straight razor down, Stephanie. How about that Katie Lang in Vanity Fair, huh?
Beat some dikes into Mississippi right now.
Shut up. I mean, that's just not necessary. All right, I'm supposed to do a commercial for Bo Dietl, but we'll get to that later. All right. So these stations think we're breaking for 4.5 minutes, and we're not. You can leave, Stephanie. Thank you. But we're not breaking for 4.5 minutes, are we?
No, we're not.
We're breaking for 4 minutes.
Exactly.
Get Chernoff in here.
Right away.
Get our program director into this little idiot.
Straighten him out.
Well, what is the matter with him?
Jeez.
What's the matter with him?
Jesus. How hard is this?
It's not difficult at all.
This is the guy This is the guy we stole from K-Rock.
Yeah.
Took him away from Howard Stern and brought him over here because he's a big rock and roll program director.
Here he goes.
Get in here.
Hi, Don.
The clock's right.
What did I do now?
Huh?
Nice to see you, too.
Well, good morning, Mark, first of all.
Good morning.
Yeah. He brings his kids to work. We really like that.
Carnival days.
No way his pants
We think it's his kid. We don't know what's going on. It's going to be a man-boy love thing going on in New Jersey.
Stop that.
None of these stations think we're They all think we're breaking for 4.5 minutes, so we're not breaking for 4.5 minutes.
That's okay. We set it up that way with your approval, but that's okay.
Oh, throwing it back.
Volley.
Oh, so
remember, so that if you did a live spot, it could go a little long if it needed to be. We could put a breaker in between some of the spots, get the call letters, WFAN in, things like that.
So they should listen, in other words.
Yeah, they should listen.
Is Mike from Scranton still there?
No, we can get him back in a second.
Okay.
Yeah, what are they doing?
Do we need to?
I don't think we need to. I think there's a reason Mike's in Scranton. By the way, it's 26 after 7. Imus in the morning.
Imus in the morning.
The brother of the President of the United States, Roger Clinton. Good morning, Roger.
Hey, man.
How are you?
So now you're on Florida, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
They wouldn't happen to be the 4 states my brother just declared disaster areas, would they?
Well, I don't think so.
No, I thought there may be some connection there.
Roger, what's the matter with you?
Hey, guess what?
What?
Brother's in Hawaii.
I know that.
Think there's any chance of him bringing me back some Maui Wowie?
No, I don't think your brother's going to be bringing drugs back from
Oh,
Hawaii.
come on. Ain't like you're going to have them dogs sniffing around Air Force Ones.
That's not a bad point, is it?
What's the world coming to if even the President of the United States can't bring a little domestic weed into the country?
Well,
hey, you see that Lyle Lovett and Julia Roberts deal?
yes.
That'll give a man some hope, don't you think? But Richard Speck lookalike can snag a honey like that. Michelle Pfeiffer's just got to be getting moist thinking about me.
That'll be fine, Roger.
Boy, I tell you what, I sure hope them two don't decide to spawn. I mean, can you imagine what that kid would look like?
Well,
Member of the Ed Sullivan, remember the Ed Sullivan show?
yes.
When that Spanish ventriloquist would paint lips on his hand and stick a wig on it?
You're not on any kind of amphetamines this morning, are you, Roger?
It's all right, it's all right. Hey, let me ask you something. What happens when you do 4 parody buttons, 3 psilocybin mushrooms, 2 grams of Peruvian flake cut with crystal meth, and a sheet of them Snoopy stamps sprayed with LSD?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but according to my height and body weight, I should find out.
traffic, weather, or sports, so.
Good.
Yeah, but you're running. Traffic sponsored by Non-X Mobile Communications. Sports sponsored by the Delta Shuttle.
Yeah.
And the weather, of course, is unsponsored, and we're short of time, so.
Imus in the morning. 2020 sports.
In the morning sports.
Morning, Imus.
Morning,
Baseball heads into the All-Star break. Mets have a few days to fun of it. A little contrived.
No way.
It didn't sound.
Sounded great.
Yeah. Rick from Providence. Good morning, Rick.
Hey, good morning, Don.
How are you, baby?
I'm doing good.
First of all, lose it, Don. Let's just lose that just
Mr.
immediately.
Don.
Let's start with Mr. Imus, Rick.
Sorry, sir.
So, how are you?
But now that we know they're 4-minute breaks, we're doing fine.
What did you think they were, 4.5?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then we missed 30 seconds of you, so.
Oh, yeah, well, believe me. Some people miss 10 years of me. So you're the program director in Providence?
Yes, sir.
Why are you there? You're like Mark Chernoff, right?
Yeah, right.
He must be like a hero of yours, right? Coming from K-Rock and...
Well, maybe. Yeah.
Well, you're not on the air much, are you, Rick?
No.
So how's this working other than that?
Well, hey, it's working great. It's a big day for us. So, we bring in all the top brass for this.
Mm-hmm.
This is not some, sleazy thing here,
Whose idea was this to put us on in Providence?
It was the same guy that called your brother for those 100 coffee mugs.
Oh, the general manager.
Yeah. He's been trying a long time to put this deal together.
So let's just speculate here for a second, Rick.
Sure.
You're a program director. You've been around a while.
Sure.
Let's just say, for whatever reason, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Is this something that you were signed on to early, or is there a way for you to kind of bail out of this so that when they fire the general manager, because I'm going to be fine. I'm already rich and I don't care.
I'll probably be in Scranton after this.
If there's some way, so you're wholeheartedly, enthusiastically on board.
Oh, believe me, my 20-year career is riding on this.
Big mistake, Rick. Always leave yourself some distance, man. You know what I'm saying?
I gotcha.
So who's coming up in town? We have Mike Lupica here in New York.
Yeah.
Who's coming up there?
We have Rick O.B.
Who? What does that stand for?
Well, his real name is O'Brien.
Right.
A nice Irish kid.
Is this your idea?
Yeah, no, it was his idea, actually.
And, we can't mention the Steve McDonald thing, right?
No, you can't mention that. You shouldn't mention that.
Oh, okay, fine.
It's just one of those things you can't talk about.
But let's get that resolved, okay?
Right.
All right. Rick, nice to talk with you.
Hey, pleasure talking with you.
Get off the phone.
Please beat it.
Please and leave. Just leave the station now. Just get in your car.
Lose the frequency.
Let us
lose
see
your
your
address.
And just don't ever answer the phone again. God almighty.
There's his phone call forever.
That's his phone.
He hates you now. Never hear from him
He
again.
doesn't hate me?
He wants you to die.
No, he doesn't. All right, coming up here in just a little bit, Senator Edward Kennedy. And at 8:30 this morning, great columnist in the Boston Globe, Mike Barnicle.
Great column.
Well, we'll talk with him, and then we'll work all that out.
My
All
good
right.
friend.
But anyway, it's time for the news now, and so here's all that.
This is the CBS Evening News. With Dan Rather at the Economic Summit in Tokyo and Connie Chung in New York.
I don't think so.
No.
It's time for our news, and here with all that is my friend Charles McCoy. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, Damage estimates now top $3 billion for the flooding that has struck the Mississippi River Basin and its tributaries in southern Midwest.
You want to talk about my computer, my Apple PowerBook?
much rather pick up.
Hey, we're coming up. You know what Saturday is? 6 years that I've been sober.
Wow.
Big deal.
Man, oh, man,
Wow, is
what
it
a
that time
situation. God, 6 years.
Really?
6 years.
Could I get a little more support here?
You absolutely
Yeah,
can.
I'll drink to that.
I'll drink to that with you. Damn right.
And over 10 years off of cocaine.
Wow. What a deal is that?
You
Well,
know.
10 years. Yeah, 10 years.
10 years, Lou.
You add the 10 to the 6. That's 16.
Whoa.
The way of thinking
Too bad you didn't
about
get
it.
cirrhosis. You.
You know,
Rummy.
do you have your news ready now?
Sure.
All right, let's try it again.
Okay.
Here's Charles McCoy with the news. Good morning, Charles.
Morning,
Hey, I'm going to talk to Mike Barnicle from the Boston Globe coming up here in a little while. And I wanted to talk to you about, didn't you go to school in Boston?
Yes, I did. And by the way, thank you for getting my show syndicated in Boston. This is, I got a lot of friends there, and this will be a great day. What?
No, Mike, we're syndicated in Boston. You're not.
Whoa. You mean
Your hideous little show is simply on here.
the Imus Network is just the Imus Network?
Yeah, it just stops at 10 o'clock.
I'll see you in a little while, okay?
Fine, you come in and we'll chat when you get here.
Okay, goodbye.
God almighty, baby. Lord, I better got the blues. I better got the blues. Shut up. I better feel the pole, baby. Good God almighty. Another mule kicking in the high man's stall.
Here we go. Oh, yeah?
That what happened.
No kidding.
What would that be?
All right. Just help yourself. The diet. Just help yourself. The diet you can do for yourself is available. Well, because I'm trying to get him the right gain on the mic.
Right this.
What are you on this morning, Lou?
What's the problem?
You're the problem.
Must be called Just Kill Yourself.
Just help yourself. The diet you can do for yourself is available exclusively at Pathmark. There are no public weigh-ins like at a typical weight loss center. How embarrassing is that? You're already fat.
Oh, man, and then you got to go.
And you got to go with another bunch of fat people, and you haven't lost an ounce. And you don't need that. You can get involved with the Just Help Yourself diet plan and fail with that. You don't have to be humiliated on top of everything else.
Fail in private.
That's right. Fail at home.
Just fail yourself, not everybody.
Yeah, it'll cost yourself a lot of money and a lot of pain and aggravation. Just help yourself. The diet you can do for yourself available exclusively at Pathmark. Here's what happens. They have these big freezers that Just Help Yourself meals. Each box is color-coded. They have a yellow for breakfast, red for lunch, a blue for dinner. Now, the suggestion, of course, is that you just eat one, but...
It's not mix and match.
Every meal is 200 to 300 calories. Each box contains information on how to follow the plan. What?
What? You're asking me what? There's always this feeling of disappointment the first day back from vacation.
What do you mean?
Disappointment that you're still alive.
Because I'm trying to get him the right gain on this microphone in there.
Ask him nicely.
Well, because it's... Just help yourself. That's his diet plan. You can also receive some counseling on weight loss and exercise available from local hospitals on an ongoing optional basis. Come on here.
There you go.
You know, this is not funny, Lou. First class. Son of a bitch.
You see, he got his hands out of his pocket.
Stop it! Turn the music off! Turn it off! Just turn the music off. Turn the music off.
The music's
Leave it
off. It's off.
Leave it off.
I'm not touching it. Turn his mic off.
How difficult.
You think those other stations are going to hate me around the country like you guys do? First day back.
We were on 2 days in Tampa, and that kid there hated me already.
Mm-hmm.
It's 23 after 8 this morning.
Which is it?
We'll talk with Mike Barnicle. We'll talk with Mike Barnicle of the Boston Globe coming up here in a minute.
Well, do you know him or not?
Anyway.
All right.
The Just Help Yourself weight plan. There are these meals you can buy at the supermarket.
Sneak that bed in, Lou.
What?
Sneak that bed in, Lou.
At Pathmark.
Put the music bed, you idiot.
No, wait on. Forget that.
Yeah. We're past that.
The meals are packaged in containers fit for both the microwave and the oven. There are over 30 great meals, including chicken fajitas, cheese manicotti, turkey
tetrachloride.
Turkey tetrachloride, and macaroni and cheese. And they're all, I don't know. One morning, they came over here, the people from Pathmark and to Just Help Yourself, and they brought some of these meals. Now, when they talk about sausage and pancakes,
Bitty sausage.
they mean a piece of sausage about the size of a
that fella's thing
weenie they got cut
about this, a little larger than a poker chip.
Wow. Okay, well, that's just portion control. That's good training. That's discipline. I like that.
Well, all right, but
Sure.
most people are not able to do that.
Okay. But they're doing it for you. The folks at Pathmark. Yellow, red, and blue. Get it and do.
But, I mean, you just can't have 2 blues, 3 yellows, and a red.
No, it's not mix and match time. rainbow eating.
All right, live from El Paso, Texas, it's time now for the Tri-State Jeep Eagle Sports Lock of the Weekend. And, of course, obligatory cheesy T-shirt plug. Yeah. With my brother, Fred Imus. Good morning, Fred.
Good morning, I. Was that a white guy that got his penis cut off?
Yes, Fred, but what difference does it make?
Well, if it had been a black guy, he probably could have stood to lose 2/3 of it.
You know.
That white guy was in trouble, man.
Jesus.
These vacations are killing me.
Whose vacation?
Your vacation.
Right.
Nobody calls.
Right.
I can't get a hold of anybody. I don't know what to do. Starting to feel like Al Gore.
What you mean? Don't you have I thought you had an auto. Don't you have a business there?
Yeah, T-shirts. Nobody buys this crummy paint.
And those cheesy. When's the last time you restored a '57 Chevy?
About a year ago.
Oh, okay.
But if you're on vacation up there, I'm down here 2 days from Chapter 11, and you're up there in Whiteport running them bimbos in and out.
No,
nobody's on giving my number out.
Well, fine.
I can't sell anything. You're killing me, I.
Did you get a call from Senator Lieberman this morning?
No.
I wanted him to be the first United States Senator to have a Fred Imus T-shirt.
Yes.
So he thanked me, and then I explained to him that he had to call you to get it.
He said, "Did you give out that number?"
Yeah. Yes, I gave out the number.
I've been on hold. I haven't heard you give it out.
Well, I mean,
You're killing me, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm down here 2 days from Chapter 11.
Do you?
Because you won't give my number out.
Give the number.
1-800-272-1957.
There you go.
Of course, I can't go down to answer it because I left the lights on in my van.
Yeah.
Won't start. Then I called Bob to come jump start it.
This is a person who restores 57 Chevys for a living, who leaves the lights. You know, you're an idiot. How's your dog, Fred, doing?
He's doing great. He's a beautiful dog. Now, you know, a lot of times I'll be somewhere and people will come up and say, "Hey, what kind of dog is that?" And I say, "Oh, well, I think she's Catholic." Do you want to say hello to Fred?
To talk to you.
Fred, come here. Uncle Don wants to say hello.
Oh, geez, it's like talking to Lupica's kids.
Okay.
All right.
Might be funnier, though.
You gotta say hello to him.
Hi, Fred. How are you?
You know what he said?
No.
He wants you to quit dating his relatives.
You know, what's that general manager's name at that station in Providence we're on?
Philip Urso?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great guy. He's got it together.
He does?
Unlike this station in Tampa.
Well.
Get off that station.
We can't get off of it.
Yeah, you can. There's other stations in Tampa. Get on another one.
We like this station.
You do?
Yeah, this is because they have somebody in the sales department. I don't know what they're doing, but
I'm telling you, get off of it now.
what's your sports pick thing?
I don't have a sports pick.
Well, why are you on?
Oh, yeah. Hey, you know what's coming up this weekend?
No.
The Pro Bowlers Tour. It's going to be here in El Paso on ABC at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. I'll be picking the winners.
Why is he plugging ABC?
This lady, well, I assume she's the head of ABC Sports, wrote me a letter, wants me to pick them.
Well, there's no woman that's the head of ABC Sports.
But she's assistant to that guy that's the head of it.
What's her name?
Well, the letter's down at the shop. I don't have the letter right in front of me, I mean, Jesus, give me a break.
Did you ever think of doing any preparation for this at all? Ever?
You're killing me.
I'm going to kill you.
So my expertise now extends to the Pro Bowlers Tour.
Fine.
Great.
3 o'clock Eastern Time on ABC.
What did they give
I'll be picking the winners here. What?
What did they give you to do this?
Nothing. They want to know who's going to win ahead of time so they can print up some of their literature.
Oh, okay.
And so who are they going to call if they want to know who wins?
Yeah, I understand.
They're going to call the I-Man's Bro.
Fine. I have to go.
Oh, come on.
No, this has not been a productive morning for you.
It hasn't?
No, but you're my brother. And
You know, you're a jerk. You know that? It hasn't been productive. You're on vacation for 2 weeks.
Yes?
It's killing me. And then come back and I brought a lot today, didn't I?
You brought absolutely nothing.
I brought nothing to the table?
We have to go.
Nothing.
I'll call you later.
You want to say hello to the dog again?
No, I don't want to say hello to you.
You know what he said?
No.
Then you're a jerk.
It's 29 after 8. Imus in the morning.
Imus in the morning.
Balance is still not right, Lou.
All right.
What do we do to resolve that?
Shoot the host.
Yeah. No, but I mean, if I can hear it and you can't, and I can't hear anything. All right. Here now from the Boston Globe, one of the fine columnists in this country.
Yes.
Mike Barnicle. Good morning, Mike.
Boy, I want to congratulate you on a very funny, well-paced show that you're running there. I've heard Joe Lieberman. I've heard the penis update. I've heard your brother. What's tomorrow now? Steve and Edie and Joey Bishop?
Well, we don't think so. We think we're going to focus on a Lollapalooza tour, which is in your area.
Well, let's go directly and have Hootenanny music on or something.
So, how are you, first of all?
Great. How you doing?
Well, we're not well, because we can't get the balance right between these blues beds and my microphone.
Well, get the guy from Tampa on, whose biggest concern in life is 4 minutes or 4.5 minutes.
No, that's the guy from Scranton. Huh?
No, Scranton. You got all the biggies.
Yeah.
And then the station manager from Providence. He's good, too.
Hey, we're having a...
He's got to be out of there by 10 o'clock in the morning in order to take orders for lunch.
He is... we're having a big general managers meeting a week from today. All of the general managers, including the stooge at the station in Boston, which is WEEI.
It used to stand for Edison Electric Incorporated.
Didn't you know that? No, I didn't know that.
Come on.
And they've sucked up to now. Is that the deal, Mike?
Oh, big time.
And
big time. I mean, right in the hopper until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Then they have actually a pretty funny guy, Eddie Endelman. He's on at 4 o'clock. But before that, nothing. Conelrad.
Well, and of course they're all hoping that this is the answer, because if it's not, there's not going to be anybody.
Yeah, well, they're slashing their wrists right about now.
So I was on vacation, but I read you for the past couple of weeks. So let me begin by asking you the following two questions, Mike. Is it hot enough for you? And how about them Red Sox?
Yeah, I wish I could say that on the air.
Oh, the ugly column you wrote about the what did you refer to as the irritation open?
Oh, yeah, that's what life is every day, the irritation open. You know, and the hotter it gets, the more fools you get walking around. I mean, listen, I mean, this is incredible to me that, you're starting off this big, major network morning here.
Right.
And with Joe Lieberman. I was supposed to be on at 7:30, and I got bumped for Joe Lieberman.
First of all, shut up. That's the number one. We don't care. We're interested in having you on so other people can find out about you.
And then I pick up the Daily News this morning, and I thought they were writing about the big syndication effort, because I see in the front page of the Daily News just a big headline, mistake.
I don't think this is a tack to take with us, Mike. I don't see how this helps you.
Well, let's get on to Lupiker. I turned the back page, and he's got this, the latest memo to stick to Gene Michael. Would somebody please invite him to a ball game? I mean, he's writing memos to Steinbrenner and Stick Michael and...
Lupica often shows up at the ballpark.
No, he doesn't.
Well, maybe.
He never leaves Connecticut.
No. So you write for the Boston Globe. What else do you do there? Don't you have a television program or something?
Yeah, I'm on TV a couple of times a week. It's the failed, sad state of the media. The fact that I'm on. You know, it's a great country. I mean, they pay you money to come on TV and tell you, what you think. You might as well ask the postman, what he thinks. I mean, you get just as legitimate a response as you do from me.
What do I need to know, in your estimation, about Boston that would suggest to just a casual listener that I had some minute interest in this hideous city?
Yeah, well, you should know that Ray Flynn, the outgoing mayor, is 54 years old and he doesn't use glasses. He prefers bottles.
Yeah. Isn't he resigning this morning?
He's resigning at 5 o'clock today to go to Rome to have a Pickwick ale with the Pope or something.
This is a guy who's a mayor of Boston.
Yeah.
And now is going to become the ambassador to the Vatican.
Ambassador to the Vatican. He's a great guy, actually. Terrific guy.
But isn't that a strange political move?
It became apparent to him after he took the job that it was a strange political move, It's going directly to the last rites of politics.
Well, didn't he sort of campaign for the job, though?
He campaigned for a lot of jobs. I mean, he had the ladder thrown up under the bedroom window at the Executive Mansion in Little Rock through November and December, pleading for everything and anything. But this is the one he got. He's not happy with it, or he wasn't happy with it until they upped his expense allowance, but he's got to go. He's like the John Belushi character in Saturday Night Live. The guest you can't get rid of.
Yeah.
Sort of like me.
Well, was he not going to run again, or couldn't run again, or?
No, he can run again. You can run as long as you want to for mayor of Boston. He just wanted out. He had it. He's been mayor for 10 years, and it's a tough job. The other guy, you got to get on. You got to get Wells on, the governor up here. An amiable, carrot-topped wasp. who apparently everyone he hires, as soon as they get sworn in, go out and get arrested for drunk driving. He's had 3 or 4 guys arrested for drunk driving in the last couple of months. One guy who was stopped by the state police had soiled his pants in the front seat of his car.
Not familiar?
You know, just that aspect alone should make it interesting if he decides to run against Ted Kennedy for that Senate seat.
Yeah, well, they both have drivers.
just
designated drivers.
Just matching up driving records.
Yeah, I mean, we have the only United States senator who can't take his mother's car, and his mother's 103 or whatever she is.
So, by the way, do you think there's a possibility Well would run against Kennedy? Is that a...
Yeah, I think that is a possibility. I think it's a distinct possibility. I mean, I think, Ted Kennedy, for, everything, despite everything he's done, I mean, he's looking at something we all look at, the sad state of demographics. He's got half the electorate here who think he's a skit on Saturday Night Live. I mean, they just heard you dumping on him right after the penis update in the last half hour. That's what they think.
We never dumped on him.
No.
I resent that charge, by the way. We simply it was just an observation that someone had made here, and we thought it was valid. And, might as well
and you went forward anyway.
Yeah, of course, yes. Any cheap traffic quality jokes, the first thing we go for.
That's what the business is all about,
yeah,
getting people to make fools of themselves.
To revel in their agony and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, thank you, first of all, for waiting a couple minutes to come on. And second of all, I want you to be the first... What's the matter?
Nothing. Go ahead.
I want you to be the first. There are a lot of people on the Boston Globe I like. One of them, of course, Ryan I like a lot, and I love Bud Collins, and there are a number of other people whose names escape me at this point.
Yeah. Peter Gammons.
I love Peter Gammons.
Wonderful.
But I want you to be... really, you're kind of like explain to people here in New York, you're kind of like a cross between... You may resent this, but in my mind, you're somewhere between... Anna Quinlan and Jimmy Breslin with a little Jeff Greenfield. So there. But I want you to be the first columnist from the Boston Globe to have one of my brother Fred's T-shirts.
Do I have to call him?
Yes, you have to call him.
I mean, this is Mr. No-Dose down there in Oklahoma. I mean, poor Fred's in the garage trying to fix up those 57 Chevys.
I understand.
He has no idea how much money you make, or else he'd be living in your garage.
Oh, no, he has a vague idea.
Yeah, he does.
Fred's tapping you?
Well, no, not anymore, no, because he's selling, by the way, hundreds of thousands of T-shirts.
Tell me it's not a great country.
He sells more T-shirts than he's selling a Lollapalooza tour.
Yeah, plus, Fred's a very funny guy. You could pick up on that immediately from that little conversation you just had with him. He's very quick.
Mike, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Mike Barnicle of the Boston Globe. It's 8:42. Imus in the morning.
Imus in the morning.
Attention. I'm reading the New York Post.
Right.
And there's a letter there from somebody defending my the Imus show going national, being concerned that we would lose the charm of being a local New York show.
Right.
Live from New York, it's Imus in the
And I thought, well,
continuing your thought, go ahead.
Isn't that nice? Somebody agrees with the I-Man. Not that I cared, obviously.
Right.
No. Phil Mushnick, of course, concerned about, the show was great right up till around 8 o'clock. And
No, I timed it. It was about 8:27 when we started experiencing some difficulties.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
The I-Man's a couple of factors all came together.
We started to experience difficulties when Fred got on.
Yeah, and then the I-Man's patience began. You could see it thinning out.
Yeah.
It happens. It happens. I-Man had a few words with the staff on the cough switch, as it were, that does go out on the air.
Well, I'm swearing at you guys. Does that go on the air? It does sometimes.
Once in
doesn't
a while, sure.
Occasionally.
Yeah. You'll get a mother.
Why is it that I don't know that? I mean, am I listening to air?
You're an idiot, is why.
Probably.
Yes.
Well, how are the little boys and girls around the country going to feel about that? Probably not well, are they?
No.
No.
We don't need a Howard Stern thing going on here.
They need a dice thing going.
No. So I'm reading the Post, as I pointed out.
Right.
The New York Post. And it's a letter from your father, Eileen.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
And so immediately it lost its credibility.
Yeah.
Well, why?
Well, because your father is a wacko.
No, he's not.
With a squeeze
It's just because he's my father.
Your father is trust me, is a whack job.
he's really a sweetheart.
He is a sweet person.
Absolutely.
I don't even quarrel with that.
Right. Well, he
Man,
just
no.
can't help himself. He has to write out all of his thoughts.
He
never stops.
Thank God this guy never worked for the post office.
He'd just steal all the stamps for his letters. He wouldn't hurt anybody.
Man. It's.
Well, he really likes you. I can't believe it.
I can't either, by the way.
Yeah.
He is a whack job.
For that reason, no.
All right, I have to pee.
Oh, good.
Well, there we
Okay.
go.
Let her rip.
Have a
You got
nice
the diaper
time.
on?
Sure. I don't have a diaper on, first of all.
You don't? Well, then try to hold it there for a minute.
Feel a little warm, but at least we have to leave.
Let her rip.
Shut up, Eileen.
Okay.
I'm 52 years old. Why would I need to wear a diaper?
No bladder control.
I have plenty of bladder control, and I'll show you in just a minute.
Oh, boy.
Has the intern or somebody left their headphones off out there or something?
No.
Well, we're getting feedback somewhere.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, well.
And we don't care either.
No, it doesn't make any difference. Are you going to make any less money?
Absolutely
Because
not.
of fed back for a moment?
No fewer listeners any place.
Of course
Probably
not.
more. It's time for the news. News sponsored by Apple Computers, which I have one.
Yeah.
And swear by them.
Absolutely.
PowerBook.
And are now computer literate.
Microsoft Word 5.1.
Get down.
Nothing I don't know about it. Nothing I can't do with it.
Yeah.
I do the news while I pee.
Fine. Vice President Al Gore conducting an...
Well, I welcome all of the stations of the Imus Morning Unistar network here so far, and we're very thrilled about it.
You sounded, well, you sounded really enthusiastic.
WEEI.
EEI.
Yeah.
Edison Electric Incorporated.
Sports radio in Boston, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah. Coming up at 10 o'clock, Dale Arnold.
Get down, Dale.
I don't know what that's all about. I guess the guy Adelman's in the afternoon is supposed to be pretty good, so
Yeah.
it's just kind of just pad till then.
Sure.
It's cheaper to put Dale on it is to turn the transmitter off. Same way we feel about Lupica here.
You got to do something.
Chico and Liddy coming up in Tampa.
Right.
In Providence, Rick Obie.
Rick Obie.
Didn't he used to be at the station where McDonald was, right? The other station?
Yeah, he jumped ship.
And Todd Acne is coming up in Scranton.
Agni, not Acne. Agni.
Right.
Jeez. Todd Scar coming up.
Todd Blackhead.
Todd Skin Condition. God almighty.
Give me somebody on the phone from Boston.
Yeah.
Right away.
And that's basically it.
All right. In Boston today, sunny and humid, the high 90.
I lost my voice here a while back.
I know.
My favorite op-ed piece over the entire 2 weeks I was off was George Will calling Jesse Jackson a low-rent itinerant demagogue.
Mm-hmm. Don't hold back, George.
And here's Bill Clinton. Now, you know, here's what you can say about his trips to Japan. Obviously, he didn't throw up on Miyazawa, though he probably should have.
It
That
would have
arrogant
been more.
little jerk with a 9% approval rating telling anybody anything about anything.
This time it would have been appropriate if he had.
Put a herp on that little stooge. Unfortunately, he goes to South Korea, puts on fatigues, and is trying to look through a pair of binoculars.
Yeah.
And, you know, he puts them up and he adjusts them and he's not seeing anything. And it was several moments there before he realized that he hadn't taken the lens caps off.
Oh, man. A metaphor for his administration so far, by the way.
Not quite as... And then my favorite event in the White House was they put a curtain up in the Oval Office for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And Dee Dee Myers said, somebody asked her about it. She said, well, the president had all his clothes on.
Pardon me?
And nobody asked her what he was wearing. Or whether he was wearing. That question wasn't brought up, so.
Just volunteered. Just blurted it out. All right.
I was just wondering about it. I mean,
I don't know.
What prompted her to say that? What's this guy's name?
Phil.
Good morning, Phil.
Morning, guys.
How are you, baby?
Just great.
Pretty great so far, huh?
Well, it's pretty mediocre so far, but I know it'll get better.
Oh, man.
Don't bet on it.
Brother.
So what do you do there? Where are you now? You're in Boston, right?
Yeah, I'm at WEEI. I'm the program director.
Now, who's the manager there?
Aaron Daniels.
Did he make the decision to carry the Imus program?
Well, that depends.
Oh, that
I've survived 3 morning shows here so far, Imus. That's the only way I know.
So here's my advice. Keep your distance.
I'm trying best I can.
So have you been riding the board this morning? Has that been your job?
No, actually, I came in to stand over the shoulder of my board op, and that way I know I can put him at ease. That's what I learned in program director school, was to stare at him and hang over his shoulder and make sure he does it right.
And tell him you want to see him at 10 o'clock, right?
Yeah, 10:15.
Time at about 7:30, so. So how's it worked for you so far this morning?
Well, we had about 10 listeners to the previous show that was on.
Right.
And
no, I don't mean in that respect. I mean...
Well, no, 6 of them have called so far to say that they're history. So you've got 4 left.
I mean cutting away and stuff like that.
Oh, it's been hellacious, but I think you've already gotten the word on that from Scranton and Tampa, and we probably don't have to belabor it, since you'd be pissed if I did anyway.
Well, no, not necessarily, but I mean, is the problem that...
Well, the clock says 4.5-minute breaks, and when 2 of them in the 8 o'clock hour went 7:58 and then 3:30, it makes it a little tough to deal with.
Well, maybe you could have somebody there to listen to the program.
Well, that's what we're doing. That's how I know that they went 7:58 and 3:30.
Very good point. What was your name again? Phil. I'm sorry, Phil. What's your last name, Phil?
Sirkin.
Okay, Phil Sirkin.
Yeah.
How long have you been there?
I've been here 4 years.
So you've been through, as you just told me, 3 morning shows.
That's correct, and I keep my distance from them all, and that's the key to success around here.
Now, Craig Mustard, is that his name?
Yeah, Craig Mustard.
He'll be on with, who's the guy in the afternoon?
No, he's on by himself from 1 to 3, and then he's on doing sports and Eddie Endelman's show.
Eddie's pretty good, right?
Eddie's very good.
Oh, okay.
Eddie's what you aspire to in this market. He's a legend here, and you will be soon, we hope.
Well, this will work better than what you've been doing, but we don't know how great it'll be, and we don't.
Well, I hope it's okay. I mean, you know, we're delighted to have you on. You were our second choice, but that's not bad.
Stern's already on there tonight, isn't he?
No, that wasn't. We wanted rambling with gambling, but the network wasn't up and running.
All right, man. Thanks. Okay. 14 after 9. I'm in the morning.
At 10:10 on your dial, this is WIN.
Good.
23 WCBS East Town.
Hello, you're on WABC. Hello, you're on Hello? Anybody there?
Imus in the morning. Hello.
Idiot. There's an article about the I-Man in Mandate magazine.
Yes, there is. You've made it now, I-Man.
Which is a homosexual magazine featuring naked men with their...
Well, with their what?
Well, with their penises.
Well, that's true. As you can see, the item on Imus winning some points regarding your position on...
I'm the only person on the program who's not a homophobe, by the way, as are you, and you're mentioned in this, by the way.
Yeah, in an unflattering light that I think, frankly, is unfair. But you're right here next to Pouch-Packing Dude.
Yeah.
And 1-800-URGE to merge.
Although he has occasionally made mocking reference to Mandate magazine, I haven't. Radio superstar Don Imus should not be confused with some of the real homophobes of the airways. True, no topic is sacred on Imus's FAN morning hideous program. And his sidekick, Charles McCord, could use some sensitivity training from a 6'5" leather karate man.
Oh, yeah. Bring him on.
But Imus himself is basically a good guy. Last year, in response to a fag-bashing story of the news, Imus lashed out at those punks, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
So mention Bernie?
Nope.
Mentions Cardinal O'Connor.
Yeah, he's in there.
You're a good guy. What does this guy have? AIDS dementia?
You know, I don't think that's necessary.
ODing on those AZTs or something.
You know, Jesus. What's wrong with you?
Basically a good guy?
And then I got a letter here from Peter Gethers, who is an editor over at Villard, which is a division of Random House, whining because this book that I'm doing was his idea. It was Peter Gethers' idea.
Okay.
And he called Lobster Newberg and said, I got a great idea for Imus to do a book. And I said, fine, give me $1 million, I'll do the book.
Right.
Well, Random House wouldn't give me the money. But Doubleday would, so I'm going to do it for Doubleday.
That's all. It's that simple.
That's all. Of course, in the entire process, I neglected to mention the Lobster that I already had a deal with Simon & Schuster, but...
Just a little oversight.
Yeah, because I didn't think anybody, come up with the money, but they did.
Guess what? Sure.
This is the last you'll hear about it. Because not included in the front money from Doubleday is free air mentions. If they want this book plugged, they can call Lee Davis. That's the way that works. Was our sales manager. He'll be happy
By a schedule.
Yeah, he'll be happy to arrange that. I'll write it. That's it. All right, it's 22 after 9. Imus in the morning. Imus in the morning here on WNEWFM 102.7, where rock lives, with my friend Scott Beanie. Scott,
So I'm at the Fillmore, sucking up to Big Daddy Tom Donahue, telling him how great Dino Valenti is, and how the Great Society are better than the Beatles. And Phil Lesh comes over with Gracie Slick and a can of Dr. Pepper spiked with some Owsley acid. She takes a swig of soda and says, I just gave birth to a rhinoceros Buddha. And Donahue says, well, why don't you and Buddha do a lotus position on this? And so with that, she drops to her knees and... What? Oh, that was the Moby Grape with a cutoff of their Wow album. And wow is definitely the operative word of the day as Imus invades 3 more metropolitan areas in his never-ending quest to pollute the national airwaves. Boston, Providence, Scranton. Well, 1 out of 3 ain't bad. Providence, the capital of Rhode Island, the Mike Lupica of states. What a coup getting into such an urban mecca. How'd you manage that?
Well,
Rhode Island, 1,214 square miles of white people. Just the way you like it, Imus. Well, 900 some odd thousand folks whose car broke down on the way to or from Connecticut or Massachusetts couldn't afford to get it fixed, and so they stayed.
Yeah.
That's the only reason you'd actually live in a place like that. Because the only thing you can say about Rhode Island is it's in the way. But they're primed for Imus. They're ready for you, Fats, because the state bird is already a chicken. But hey, if it doesn't work out in Providence, you at least have Scranton Wilkes-Barre to fall back on. You think the signal will carry all the way down into the coal mines? Think you'll get a lot of Amish folk tuning into you on their buggy radios on the way to the Rutabaga field? I hear those Mennonites are real big Anna Quinlan fans. Maybe we can turn all those empty steel mills into Imus rooms, where hundreds of Quakers can meet to listen to the show and exchange ideas on animal husbandry. If New York is the Big Apple and Atlanta is the Big Peach, Scranton's the Big Turd, right?
No.
But Boston, you're a guaranteed hit there. A city richly steeped in Revolutionary War heritage, and who better to add his first-hand accounts of that skirmish than you? I can see it now. Thousands of Bostonians dressed as their favorite Kennedy, standing on a Dayliner boat performing a recreation of the famous Tea Party, throwing their radios into Boston Harbor.
Now live from Scranton.
Yeah, okay.
So the University of Scranton. Terry, good morning, Terry.
Good morning, Imus.
Hi, baby.
Pretty good. I've just been listening. I'm a long-time listener, but I listen on Long Island because I live out here. And I go to the University of Scranton, and I just found it pretty humorous about everything that you're saying about Scranton.
I didn't say anything about Scranton. We love the people in Scranton.
Well,
they're the best.
That's really not how it came out. But
there are those people we feel a special bond with. Darn right. The people in Scranton.
You've never been there.
You know, I actually worked in a uranium mine and a copper mine years and years ago, back before the I-Man was the I-Man.
I don't know about that because mines have been closed for a long time.
Yeah, it was on the Hershey Highway, that's all.
I understand that. I don't think that's necessary. Go ahead, Terry.
But, like, since you've never actually been there, I just want to tell you, like, if you walk down the street in Scranton, the people there, it looks like they're inbred. Like, they've mated with each other. And, I mean, the type of people that they have there, it's totally ridiculous. Like, there's nothing to do there. It's deadbeat town.
You sound to me like you probably bring a lot to the table. But they're real happy you're going to school there.
The school itself is great.
What are you studying there?
Computer science.
Sure you are. Sure.
I am. Actually, I'm working right now as I speak to you. And my boss is out, so, hopefully he's not listening.
Obviously you're not working then.
Right, I'm not working. But also, have you ever heard their sports station, the station that you guys are on?
Hanging underneath those
Another computer scientist.
Hey, why'd you do that?
See, here's the problem. It's like when you go, it's like when your first job, it's like your first day on any radio station, if you were just going from station to station, as a lot of guys do around the country. If you're Robert W. Morgan, for example, and you just go from one... Sure.
Don't settle in exactly, no.
So your first day is always a big deal, and this, of course, is a huge deal for these stations like... I really have made some effort to make it appear...
To feign interest.
To suggest that I actually care something about this. But if I just have to be very honest with you, I just don't.
You could not care less.
I couldn't. No. I couldn't care less. Except the guy in Providence, we like him.
He's all right.
But the rest of these losers...
Oh, please.
In fact, we're having a general managers meeting next Monday.
Great.
At 7:30 with all the general managers of all the stations that are on the Imus Unistar network at that point.
Okay. Take no prisoners.
And we expect that will be Tampa, Florida, Boston, Massachusetts, Providence, Scranton, and Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
As well as New York. Mr. Hollander will be here for this meeting as well. Our general manager.
Things may get a little ugly.
Front and center.
Yeah. But the guy whose name escapes me now in Providence at the classic rock station near 103.7,
RX. CAD. WRX.
Okay.
Providence.
Boston, Rick, the PD sounded...
Stupid.
No, he didn't sound, actually he sounded like he had his act together because if this doesn't work for him there, he at least is not on wholeheartedly and enthusiastically and can back away from it.
Actually,
that was Phil.
Yeah, Phil.
Phil, sure, my good
Rick's friend.
Sure.
Yeah.
Rick's friend, Phil. The PD in Boston. Lupica, come here. Anyway.
He knew how to approach this thing, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Mike in Tampa they have no choice. It's an infinity station. Do what we tell them to do.
What are they going to do?
Yeah, Chico and Liddy come up there at 10. By the way, Lupica, come here. And in Scranton, who did we talk to there? That was Rick.
There you go. Yeah, it was Rick.
Rick. And up Todd Ackney, he's coming up there.
Agney. G.
So welcome to all the stations, and this is it.
Welcome to some of it. Some of it. It doesn't get a...
Mike Lupica from the New York Daily News is here. His little program is coming up here at 10 o'clock. Good morning, Mike.
Hi, Don. I don't want people to think in the other cities that I have a squeaky, unmanly man radio voice.
But you do, don't you?
Well, a little bit. Well, yeah.
How are you?
Well, fine. I think you've made a wise choice today, by the way.
I'm listening to you, by the way. I'm just looking for something.
No, that's fine. I think you made a wise choice today, not going too heavy on the old power book with, the new cities, as some of us who are near and dear to you had to endure during the old vacation.
What are you saying, Mike? I talked a little bit too much about my Apple Power book?
I just think it's been transferred from the running and the weight training.
Are you snapping your pen, Breen?
No, sir.
Yeah, somebody is snapping their pen.
I don't have a snapper pen.
Who is snapping the pen? I want to know who's snapping the pen.
I did not snap a pen. I did not snap a pen. Not me.
Could have been my jaw.
You're awfully dark, Mike. Mike's Sicilian anyway.
Yeah.
Like he's Puerto Rican for crying out loud.
You look like Pablo Guzman.
Yo, what's up, Mikey? Damn, man.
So, there's no way for us to really relate to Boston, is there? I mean, it's to pretend that we care anything about the Red Sox or...
No, I think you'll be very big in Boston. I mean,
we're already big in Boston. We're listening to us on FAN.
If you just address, say, guys Leslie went out with, right there, you've expanded.
Talking about Leslie Visser from CBS Sports, who like Mike was a cheerleader at
I was
BC.
A cheerleader for one day.
Well, it's like the guy who sucked one. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that makes you...
I don't think that's the analogy
we're
looking for here.
Let me tell you what that makes you. It makes you a cheerleader. Right. Or in another case, it makes you... You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, fine. Well, I didn't kiss any guys in the Marines.
We don't... Because you weren't in the service, you spineless little worm.
So that's a reason. Join the Marines and kiss a guy.
No, absolutely not. But
surprised that's not in the advertisements.
You weren't presented with that opportunity because you're a draft-dodging, bleeding heart little chicken-livered worm, aren't you? Aren't you? Plus, you weren't tall enough to get in anything.
You're too short for the Boy Scouts.
Chicken livered, okay. I think the draft dodging's a little strong. But I didn't go into any bars and kiss any guys.
So, are there any other colleges worth noting in Boston?
Well, there's a little place in Cambridge maybe you've heard of.
Other than Harvard.
Boston University.
That would be BU.
Good. Yeah,
you could attend now.
You're boned up.
But you did, by the way, which would qualify me to take courses there.
Or date some of the co-eds.
Harvard would be HU.
Oh, man, just think of that, Chuck. A whole new city of co-eds. There's like 1 million college students in Boston.
Now, the New England Patriots, are they like a Boston team or not?
Yeah, they are.
Oh, they are.
And they got old Coach Parcells.
Hey, what a great investment idea. Mike Francesa and Bill Parcells own 2 horses, 2 thoroughbreds.
There's some symbolism there, isn't there, Don?
Who's managing their money? I got a great idea. Why don't you guys invest in a couple of racehorses?
Yeah, because as you know, it doesn't cost anything to maintain a horse.
No, absolutely not.
They take care of themselves.
Yeah, you know,
It's not a problem.
you get them a stall and that's it.
You're done.
Bring them to the Kentucky Derby after that.
Eat grass. Come on.
Did you hear Barnicle this morning?
Well, you know, here's the thing, because I was just praying he'd be good. You know, I'm in the car and I'm thinking if he bombs out again like he did that one other time, I'm just turning the car around.
I don't think bombed out, Mike, because bombed out is what you do when you call us with nothing.
Oh. Ooh.
But now that you come in live, you've been... What's the matter?
Scintillating.
I thought Barnicle was great today.
Barnicle was fine. Barnicle was not great.
No.
What'd you hear?
I think he was a little uncomfortable with the, and he shouldn't have been, with the Anna Quinlan, Jimmy Brett, somewhere in the middle of that.
Well, they both won Pulitzer Prizes, which is something Mr. Barnicle has yet to do.
No, but
Let me just point that out to Fatso Barnicle up at the Boston Globe. Let me point that out to the pant load at the Globe.
When he's with Breslin, he's always quick to point out that they do have one Pulitzer between them.
Yeah, he's exactly right. So, what do you have at 10 o'clock?
Boy, damned if I know.
Oh, Greg.
I mean, I've been on vacation. That first,
Come on. Wouldn't you plan something? My nice article this morning. Now, your advice to the Yankees is...
Look how well the Dallas Green thing worked out for the Mets.
Barnicle, how about Dallas Green? Their goal is to catch the Marlins.
Well, you know what? Some people have more modest dreams than other people, okay?
Jesus, catch the Marlins is our goal?
What a standard.
That's really going to be the ad campaign for the Mets. Shoot the moon or catch the Marlins.
This on their face.
Warren Rutten said that it was awfully serious.
Manager Dallas Green has issued a demanding challenge to his team for that second half.
I'd love to challenge the players, and I'd love to challenge our fans to see if we can't catch the Marlins. I mean, that's a realistic goal. It's something that we could all set our sights to.
Whoa. Catch the Marlins?
Well, catch a hard ball to the temple. Fat drunk.
I don't think Dallas Green is a fat drunk, Bernie, do you?
I heard that from you.
That's what it's come to. Catch the Marlins.
Thank God, man. Everything I ever did, I never shot any drugs.
Well, it's never too late.
Well, yeah. Coming up here in New York, Mike Lupica. In Tampa, G. Gordon Liddy. In Boston, Dale Arnold. In Providence, Rick Obey. And in Scranton, Todd Agnew. Mm-hmm. The rest of you can listen to Rush.
This concludes the entertainment and revenue-generating portion of your broadcast day. WFAN New York and the Unistar Radio Network now return you to the rest of your local programming schedule. An indecipherable embarrassment of broadcasting incompetence that compelled this station to subscribe to the Imus in the Morning program in the first place in order to stave off bankruptcy, to prevent this frequency from going dark in your local listening area, and to avoid suicides among principals who were deceived into investing in a fiasco that is on the precipice of financial collapse and the subject of local Chamber of Commerce ridicule. The entertainment and revenue-generating portion of the broadcast day, the Imus in the Morning program, will resume tomorrow morning. Check your local listings for time and schedule. 22 2020 Sports on the Fan means you'll get all the scores and sports news every 20 minutes. At the top of the hour, 20 minutes after the hour, and 20 minutes before the hour. 2020 Sports all day on Sports Radio 66 WFAN New York. WFAN 2020 Sports.
1 minute after 10. Good morning. This is Mike Breen.
Next pitch, change up, drill to center. The game's over. The game's over. Troy LeMay